Okay, picture the scene. You're walking in the woods, there's no one around and your phone is dead. And you have a sudden need for a spoon. And all you have with you is a saw, a small axe, a pocket knife, a workbench, and a selection of wood carving gouges. No electricity. In other words, we're going to try to make a wooden spoon using only hand tools today. I'm starting with this piece of green oak. I was fortunate enough to be walking down the high street today and some tree surgeons were cutting down a large oak tree. It's not an English oak, I think this is a Turkey oak or something like that. So, but it's oak anyway. It's green oak. It's just literally been cut today. It's still wet, but it's October, so it shouldn't be too sappy, but it will be very wet. So I stopped and begged, may I please have a piece of this timber? And they were only too happy to, well, they were a bit confused, but they gave me a piece of timber to take away. So I've got this log of oak and we're going to try to cut a wooden spoon out of this today. So first thing to do, I think, is to try to pick a nice straightish bit, which I think is going to be this section here. I think we'll start with this bit here and then we'll split it. We'll saw the ends off, we'll split it, and we'll use half of the split piece. Now, being green, it cuts quite nicely just with the hand saw. Nice. Now, yes, there's some nice heartwood in there. Hopefully we will cut most of our spoon from the heartwood. Okay, so I think we'll have about that much. Okay, so that's our section of oak log. Smell of fresh cut oak, really nice. So what are we going to do? I think we're going to try to cut our spoon out of half the log that way so that we get this bit of heartwood here. So we got to split this up now. Okay, so it says do not strike on my axe, but I'm going to use a wooden mallet for this. It's never a very good idea striking the back of an axe, but my precision with this tool is not brilliant anyway, so I'm going to start by splitting there. Wow, I think we might have some cross grain in there, that's interesting. Okay, so let's split another section about there. Okay, that's good. So we've got what's more or less a plank of wood there. And now I think we'll just split off those sides. Not bad, not bad. Okay, so we've got a bit of a knot at that end, so I'm going to work mainly at this end, I think, and we'll make our handle come down the middle there. I'm just going to start shaping the rounded end on this end of the log. Good. Okay. Now we need to go in. Something like that. Not that, something like that. starting to look a bit like a spoon, isn't it? Right, no more off the top there, except just to shape it a bit. Okay. Okay, it's probably time to switch now to the little handheld knife. Now this is quite hard going because oak is a tough old timber, and even though this knife is quite sharp, we are finding it doesn't really want to cut the oak heartwood very well, but that's fine because that's going to make for more careful paring of the shape. I don't want to be able to cut too deep straight away. Yes, yeah, actually if I was cutting the sapwood, it would cut very easily, but this is the heartwood. It doesn't want to be cut, it's very tough. Okay, now before I go any further, I'm actually going to take the gouges, I think, and form the bowl while I can still clamp this in the vise. So we're actually using here, this is a spoon carving gouge. And this just enables me to get in there. And if I lean the tool back, the good thing with this is if it digs in too far, just lean the tool back and it will start cutting back up towards the surface. And so it is going to be a painstaking process because we are dealing with quite hard timber here, and I want to go easy. I don't want to cut all the way through. I might start with a shallower one actually. I'll start with a slightly shallower gouge just to take out some material out of the middle there. And I'll work from both ends, so I'll work from this end as well. And then I shouldn't ever be exposing too much grain that the gouge will dig into. Now, because we're working with green timber here, I'll have to make sure that I wash off these tools and then oil them before I put them away, because the moisture content and the tannin in this oak will attack these steel tools. They're not stainless steel, they're carbon steel, so they will rust in storage if I put them away with sap on them. this gouge, having more of a curved end, can go in deeper and still cut back up. And what we're doing is we're cutting with a sort of curving action like this, following the curve of this tool, so that it only ever shaves off a thin layer of wood from the surface of the piece. But now I've got to start to think about the shape of the bowl rather than just the depth of the thing. Good. That's probably the hardest part done now, the hollowing out of the bowl. So now I just shape off the outside as well. Okay, I've actually gone back to the axe for a minute, because this is a really nice sharp axe, and it's possible to get some very precise cuts if you're careful, and if you clasp the axe right up the top, which I believe is called choking it. And yeah, it's possible to get some quite precise cuts. And where this wood is quite hard, it's better working this way than it is with the knife, with the hand knife, just because we do need a little bit of weight behind the blade just to take the bulk of the material away. I am still going to finish off with the little pocket knife to get hopefully smooth finish and some sort of aesthetics on there, but yeah, it's possible to actually get some quite fine control if you grasp the axe up this end like this. In fact, you can almost use it. I mean, this is how sharp this axe is it can be used as a knife. This is, I should probably mention at this point, my first ever attempt at carving anything with an axe, and my first ever attempt at carving a spoon. And I think I'm probably not doing too badly. The trick is, take a piece of wood and carve away all the bits that don't look like a spoon. Simple, really. Good, and I'm just feeling all the way round with my fingers to make sure that the thickness of the bowl is more or less even, or at least as much as can be expected. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and finish off with a pocket knife now, and we'll come back at the end. Okay, so there it is. I think we're going to stop there for today, even though there is some more, probably sanding, I think, to do on that. But as my very first ever hand-carved spoon, and my first ever attempt at carving with an axe, I'm not too unhappy with that. We'll come back and give it a sand, assuming it survives the night and doesn't just split, because this is green wood. We'll come back and give that a sand tomorrow, but I think we'll finish this video for here now. So there we go, that is my hand-carved spoon, carved only using hand tools from a log of oak. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.